Even if you've only played one game in the series, you know that it's a magical experience. But to really get excited for the Switch version, we must learn the history of the series. The creator of this beloved franchise is Katsuya Iguchi. While many people know the game as originating on the GameCube, in Japan, they got it for the Nintendo 64. The game was later moved to the GameCube for what we all know as the original Animal Crossing. The first game had many different releases around the world. The first game was called Dobutsu no Mori on the Nintendo 64. This translates to Animal Forest. This game was being developed for the Nintendo 64 disk drive, or DD for short. It was exclusive to Japan. The disk drive had a real-time clock system, and that was one of the main reasons that the game was being developed for it. But Nintendo instead decided to make a cartridge for it with its own clock, which was a good idea on their part, because the disk drive would be known as a commercial failure, being discontinued less than a year after release. Because of the disk drive being scrapped, the Animal Crossing team wasn't able to use the extra storage space to make the game they planned. Animal Crossing was supposed to be an interactive multiplayer RPG focusing on the cooperation between players to complete tasks, clear dungeons, and defeat bosses, but all of that was scrapped when the disk drive was discontinued. The team then decided to work on a more open-ended style of gameplay that featured both smaller and larger tasks to complete. With the GameCube, Nintendo knew that bringing the games to the new console would open it up to new players, and so, in Japan, Nintendo released Tobatsu no Mori Plus on December 14th in 2001. This version of the game added new content such as the museum, the Able stores, new animal characters that can move into your town, and a true in-game clock. Fast forward a year, and now the Western audience would be able to live the joy of the series. But for Nintendo of America, just translating the game wasn't enough. They added a bunch of new stuff, including holidays and items, making the game more relatable for people in the West. Nintendo also added e-reader functionality, making it the first game on the GameCube to support this. After the success of the English version of Dobatsu no Mori, Nintendo of Japan decided to retranslate the game for the Japanese audience and named it Dobatsu no Mori E+. What a mouthful. Europe wouldn't be able to experience Animal Crossing until 2004, and by that time, the e-reader functionality was sadly discontinued due to its lack of popularity, so they removed the e-reader functionality from the European version. After the success of the first Animal Crossing game, Nintendo was getting ready to launch the Nintendo DS. The next installment of the Animal Crossing series popped up in 2005 for the Nintendo DS, and it was called Animal Crossing Wild World. Wild World was a brand new game built with its own engine, featuring new controls by using the DS touchscreen, and added new items such as fish and bugs. This game also added new characters that became staples to the series, such as Brewster and Celeste. You can now interact with more of the villagers. You can now enter contests, be invited into other villagers' homes, and watering plants to make the town look nice. Wild World didn't have many differences between regions. After the success of Wild World, Nintendo was ready to put Animal Crossing back onto a home console. Nintendo had already released the Wii, and its appeal to more casual gamers made it great for the next installment of the beloved series. So Nintendo had a worldwide release of Animal Crossing City Folk in 2008. City Folk added new features such as being able to use an accessory called Wii Speak, so you could talk to your friends as you visit their towns. New holidays were added such as Halloween and a Harvest Festival. But the biggest addition of the game was, you guessed it, the city. In the city, players could shop for items, change their appearance, talk to different NPCs, and more. Just like Wild World, there were few differences between regions. Animal Crossing City Folk would be released as a Nintendo Select in 2011 and again in 2016. After City Folk, Nintendo was ready to launch another game. Animal Crossing New Leaf was released on November 8th, 2012 in Japan, June 9th, 2013 in North America, June 14th, 2013 in Europe, and June 15th, 2013 for Australia. Nintendo made a lot of changes with this game. This time, Nintendo flipped the script on the player, and now you are the mayor. You are in charge of everything, like public work projects, audiences, and much more. In New Leaf, you get to customize your town, which put it a step above the rest in terms of gameplay. Nintendo dropped many updates, but the biggest one was the Welcome Amiibo update. Nintendo added over 50 new villagers, the ability to scan Amiibo into the game, and a new campground complete with a mobile home. New Leaf is packed with content from start to finish and is arguably the best in the series right now. Nintendo was getting ready to move Animal Crossing past the mainstream games with Happy Home Designer on the 3DS. This game, released in 2015, is less of a life simulation game and more of a designing game. You simply take on the role of one Tom Nook's designers and design different layouts for different villagers' homes. During the middle of the 3DS lifespan, Nintendo was getting to launch their next system, the Wii U. Rumors of a new HD Animal Crossing game began to spread like wildfire over the internet, and sadly, that didn't happen. Nintendo instead released 2 spin-off titles that, let's say, didn't get the fans too excited. The first was Animal Crossing Plaza, that released in 2013. This free digital download focused mainly on the communication of the games. Players would be able to talk to NPCs or chat about a character from a menu. This game was basically a reskin of Miiverse with Animal Crossing characters. Really, just look at this. The game was discontinued in 2014 and removed from the eShop because of the backlash and lack of content. The next spin-off would become Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, releasing in 2015. This game gave a glimpse to players what a real HD Animal Crossing game could be. But sadly, this game was no more than a party game. Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival is like Mario Party, but a little less fun. I don't know. I can't really judge it. I've played it once with my brother, and he wouldn't stop breaking KK Slider, so I haven't really played it all that much. But it's only sort of fun. And big Animal Crossing fans will tell you it's the worst of the franchise. This game was no more than a board game on a home system, but that's not what the fans wanted. With a new system, Nintendo could have done so much more, but they didn't. Another spin-off game that actually was kind of like the others was released in 2017, and it was a mobile game, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp was able to make an impact on people who didn't own any of the past systems that the other games were on. Pocket Camp wasn't exactly like the other games, but it was a good refresher after the downfall on the Wii U. With a new game for the series coming this year, us Animal Crossing fans can only hope that Nintendo fixes the problems from the Wii U and makes a new game like the old ones. That'll be it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and let me get my voice ready. Goodbye!